Welcome to TLC, 10 Life Community Podcast, where we dive into the heart of our local community, its wineries, restaurants, business, and real estate. I'm Troy Anderson, along with my co-host Pamela, and we're here to bring you a new perspective on what's happening in our community. This week, we also have a special guest, Greg Bakke. He's the president of Forgotten Children's Fund. He is a returning guest, so welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we really enjoyed the show last time and enjoyed participating in all the events around Christmas time last year. That was awesome.
Yeah, you guys dove in.
Yeah,
great to have you.
We're going to dig into that, but first, of course, it's time for Sipping on Success. So
I was jumping right ahead, wasn't I?
That's fine, but let's open that wine. It's been a while.
Let's stain our teeth a little for the...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Troy, what do you have for us this week?
Well, I brought one of my favorites. It's from Goose Ridge. It's their artist series, and it is called... What's it called? Reserve Red Wine Blend, and it's mainly Cabernet. Got a little bit of Merlot, Petit Verdot, Cab Franc, and Melbach. And it's called, the picture on the front is people picking cherries, and it's called the Cherry Bomb, or the Cherry Haven. I call it the Cherry Bomb.
Okay. All right. You've tried this one before?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you should be an expert in this. That's quite the
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, I'm going big today.
And it's noon in Denver, so...
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere.
And Boise, it's not far from Boise.
Okay, cool. All right, so we have this one. Now, we know that you really like Goose Ridge. Why this particular wine, though?
It's in their reserve collection, and I think it's very tasty.
Okay, sounds like a good enough reason to me to pick it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to let you guys dig in just a little bit. I'll talk about the color of the wine and this label on the bottle. Now, Goose Ridge has been doing these artist series for a long time, and every year, every couple of years that they pick a new artist to do their labels?
It's either once or twice a year.
Okay, and they always go with something bold, which I really
Yeah.
like. I know one of my neighbors actually did. Amy Lighthole. She was actually one of the artists a number of years ago. But I love how bright and cheery this label is. It's almost I don't want to say cartoonish, but it has that kind of playful feel about it.
A little
bright
whimsical.
colors, whimsical, and hopefully it ties in nicely with this wine. So
I think it does.
all right, so
Are they local, Goose Ridge?
Goose Ridge, their production facility is Benton City. They have an AVA of their own called Goose Gap, which is a viticulture area for growing grapes over by the Tri-Cities, basically.
I know Benton City.
Yep. And they have a tasty room right here in Woodinville, one in Leavenworth, which I enjoy, and then Richland, and then I think Walla Walla as well.
yeah, I think they have 4, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Have you guys had a chance to put your nose in the glass or try it yet? I think Troy's enjoying that. I don't think we're going to get much out of it. Well, I'll go first. I haven't tasted it, but I have put my nose in the glass. And the first thing that hits you is the cherry.
Yeah.
Right? So understandably so from the name. I was kind of thinking, maybe it's a misnomer and it says it's cherry, but you don't always get that. I got a real hit of that. So what about you guys?
I for sure taste the cherry. It's very steak worthy. It's a rich, bold wine to me. Which is what my wife and I like. So
yeah, I think it's
I'll try this one again.
Definitely stand up to a nice ribeye for sure. We get that little bit of fat and meat, and the wine will just round it right out.
It's not lunchtime yet, but now you're making me hungry, as always.
Steak salad. How's it?
Steak salad sounds fantastic. Yeah. All right. So there is not much of a bricky hue. I thought there was going to be a brick hue on the outer edges of that when you were pouring it, but it settled down in the glass quite quickly.
Yeah.
It does have a little bit of dryness to it on the middle palate of my tongue, but it's not super dry, which I appreciate. It does have a really robust flavor. The cherry really kind of packs a punch in that.
It does. Hence the cherry bomb.
Yeah.
Cherry bomb.
Yeah. That's what Troy likes to call it, but
It's
What do they officially call it again?
Cherry Haven.
Cherry Haven.
Yeah. That's actually the name of the artist's rendering on the label.
Okay. Cherry Haven.
But it goes right along with the wine.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm trying to figure out what else I can taste in there, because usually there's a couple of different notes in there.
Yeah.
Are you finding anything else?
It's very it's got a good finish on it too. So it's not like a just punch you in the face kind of red. It's has a really good finish to where it lingers a little bit.
Yep, it does.
And so, yeah, I think it's a Tuesday afternoon wine, or it's a really bold steak wine. I think,
Yeah. It doesn't have much of that alcohol burn either,
No.
which is nice because sometimes
Yeah.
that can overpower. It has a little bit, but the flavors really just kind of explode on the tongue.
Yeah, it is a little higher in alcohol, 14.9%.
Oh, wow. You expected me to do a podcast?
Yeah, like I said, it's noon in Denver.
Yep. Okay.
I'm feeling like a late October, early November as the weather changes and you're indoors more.
Right.
It's the furthest thing from your Pinot Grigio type wines that you might have on the patio in the summer, but
Yeah, no, it does.
yeah,
I see that. I see kind of roaring fire, book,
Yeah.
bit of chocolate.
yeah.
Rain, drizzle,
Rain and
northwest drizzle.
It's coming.
You know what? Let's not talk about that right now.
True.
Still enjoying the summer.
Yep.
Okay, well, we're going to obviously continue to enjoy this wine throughout the show. That's the perk of being on this podcast. We get to enjoy delicious wine from our region. But we're going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into all things the Forgotten Children's Fund with Greg. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
Welcome back to TLC, 10 Life Community Podcast, where we share the stories of people and organizations making a real difference in our community. Today, we're excited to welcome back a guest who was with us before and who continues to work and inspire us in the community, Greg Bakke. He's the president of the Forgotten Children's Fund. For those that are just tuning in for the first time, the Forgotten Children's Fund has been spreading joy and hope in Western Washington for decades. If you'd like to hear our first conversation with Greg, you can catch up by listening episode number 2 in season 2, entitled Wine and Wishes. So Greg, last time you were with us, you gave us such an inspiring look into the heart of Forgotten Children's Fund. For those that maybe missed the episode, can you give us a quick recap of what the Forgotten Children's Fund is and how it got started?
Sure. It's one of my favorite stories. So there was a group of guys that always got together for happy hour at a restaurant called Francisco's in Seattle, and it was owned and operated by a gentleman named Dick Francisco. Dick was a huge guy, like 6'5", just a hulk of a man. He was a boxer. He was in the Marines.
Wow.
He was a pilot, flew combat missions and all sorts of things. And but once he got out of the Marines, he opened this restaurant called Francisco's. It was right down in kind of Denny Avenue, downtown Seattle. Mm-hmm. And one day, close to Christmas, their mailman brought them this letter that he had come across from a young boy that basically said, "Mom told me, Dear Santa, Mom told me you got lost last year and weren't able to find our house," and so on and so forth. And it was a cover that story that Mom had told that she just couldn't afford Christmas, and so he basically said, if you can't find us this year and that sort of thing, it's okay, and don't bring anything for Dad. He's not here anymore. Like a real difficult letter to read.
Yeah.
Punch to the gut.
Totally. But the mailman knew Dick, and so he gave the letter to Dick, and a light bulb went off in Dick's head, and he just said, "Listen, if there's one kid like this in the city of Seattle, there's got to be thousands." And so he said that can't happen. So we got to start our thing. So he started lining up some people to be Santa Claus, and started lining up donations for toys and obviously cash too, but toys and bikes and all sorts of things. And so they started delivering Christmas on Christmas Eve to families around the Seattle area. And that has now grown to, so it started in 1976, so quick math, almost 50 years. Now we serve anywhere from 700 to 900 families all up and down the Puget Sound corridor.
Wow.
From Centralia, Chehalis, all the way up to Bellingham. And it's really, really awesome. We have upwards of 50 Santa Clauses, and each Santa has 3 or 4 elves. And I think we're the only charity that actually goes into the home and sits down with the family on Christmas Eve. And we're not from Forgotten Children's Fund at that point. We're from the North Pole. We're Santa and his elves from the North Pole. And so we sit down with the family and deliver Christmas to them, spend 30 to 45 minutes with them, and it's a really cool experience.
I got to be an elf last year, and that
Yes,
was
you did.
really impactful to be able to go into the house and see their faces light up like that.
Yeah.
Brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah. What was your favorite part? Besides dressing up.
And we have photographic evidence that he was dressed as an elf.
Dressing up
Confirmed.
as an elf is, I don't know, brings a little boy out in me, I guess. I think the favorite part was, just being able to impact the families and just seeing what a large operation, well-run large operation it was. It's like a well-oiled machine. That warehouse was just like, whoa.
It doesn't always feel like that when you're in the middle of it in the early December, but thank you. Thank you.
I bet there's always chaos in the mix, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I love that story. You told it last time, but you've got this idea of this hulking great man who turns into a great big teddy bear and just delivers to these kids. He didn't have to do it, but it was obviously something that, really sparked it. He has to do this. So thank you for sharing that with us again this year. I think it's really important to kind of know where it comes from.
I only met Dick towards the end of his life, and so I didn't know him well. But the really cool part about our program and our organization is some of the other founders are still with us, and not only still with us, but still very active. Donnie Rawl is one of the founders. He's a 93-year-old still Santa Claus. So he's still out there with us.
Cool.
Dick Nord, he lives up in LaConner. He's still a big part, and he runs our operation up in the North Counties. So people don't leave. It's a really cool organization, and it's a family tradition for so many people.
Yeah, love it.
It's awesome. So since we last chatted, what are some of the big changes, milestones, or new programs the organization has experienced?
Yeah, no, it's been really cool in the last couple of years. We've developed a relationship with Prologis, who owns all the warehouses. Pretty much every warehouse you see that's not a winery or distillery around here, Prologis owns them. So down in the Renton, Kent, Auburn area. Used to be a big frustration for us each year because we don't own any property. We have a warehouse donated to us every year. We've cultivated and developed that relationship, so every year we just call them and they have a warehouse set aside for us, at usually 3, and they let us choose.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. We have lots of fundraisers going on. We have an auction that happens each year in December, that's actually run by the Puget Sound Ships Captains Association. So it's a maritime themed, but lots of other stuff in the auction too. And that's going really well. Each year in the last 3 years, we've broken the record for how much money has been raised. I have a really cool personal story in the last couple of years. So my kids go to school right up the hill here at Bellevue Christian at Mack Elementary. And last year, they do a thing called Marketplace, where each kid makes little products, and then they sell them to each other. They're usually $1 or $2, but and then the money that they raise gets donated to a particular charity. Well, this year, my son's school or class voted to benefit Forgotten Children's Fund with the money that they were raising.
Oh, that's neat.
And so now it's kind of parlayed into, we're developing a bigger relationship with the school, and so they're going to involve us in their toy drive and other things that they do for charity. And so it just hit close to home, and it was really, really cool.
That's awesome.
That really is, yeah. I think the more people find out about what you guys do, the more people are going to want to be involved.
Yeah.
So, love
Well,
it.
and if I can, just real quick, I want to shout out Woodinville. It's kind of become the center of our fundraising operation a little
Really?
bit. None of them are huge fundraisers, but what you guys did last year for us in bikes, the bike drive, and raising money for bikes and procuring bikes was amazing. Securite Gun Club, they do a toy drive for us every year. The Chamber of Commerce that we're both involved with, or all involved with, we're the benefactor from the 5K at Winterfest. Woodinville has really, really stepped up and been a kind of a fundraising center of operations for us, and because we don't have any big corporate sponsors, and so all of it's grassroots, and so the local community here has just been amazing, and you guys were kind of the linchpins for that, so thank you.
Cool.
Woohoo, go Woodinville.
Woodinville.
Love that.
New fun facts about Woodinville for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep the momentum going.
Yep. So speaking of that, I mean, we often talk about the magic created at Christmas, but what impact are you seeing in the community right now? And, what are the ripple effects that go beyond the holiday season? I mean, there's needs 24/7.
Yeah, for sure. So it's been a tough few years as everything gets more expensive, groceries and everything, gas, like everything's more expensive, and everyone knows that. And so there's definitely more need. Our operation is in the process of expanding. We've never, or not in the last 15 years, served Tacoma, for example. which is weird because we do cover Kent and Auburn and Federal Way, but then we kind of leapfrog Tacoma into Centralia and Chehalis, and so it's a goal of ours to spread some cheer in Tacoma also, because we do go almost all the way up to the Canadian border to the north, and why not help in Tacoma? So we're trying to expand the number of families without making it too difficult for us to continue to serve the quality Christmas that we've been able to. And then one thing that we don't talk as much about that I think we should, so I'll bring it up now, is we deliver Christmas, so we deliver toys and bikes, and that's amazing. But we also have an aftercare program. So if we, as Santa and elves, walk into a home and something seems amiss, like the heat's not on, or the lights aren't on, or they don't have furniture, which is more common than you would think. We take notes, and we will then approach the families that need it after Christmas and just say, hey, we'd like to help you with your bills for 3 months, or can we get you a kitchen table that you guys can have dinner around, that sort of thing. And so it's a game changer for so many families, because a lot of them are working, and they're working really hard. They're not quite getting there, and they can't quite make ends meet. And so, it's not funny, but bring Legos into a family that doesn't have a kitchen table or doesn't have a couch for everyone to sit on and watch a movie, or something like that. And so that's a program that we started a few years ago, and it's really on the rise because of that. And so, toys are great and bikes are great, but cash is always a need too for programs like that.
Yeah, I think you forget that it's not, the need isn't just once a year, it's year round for some of these families.
Definitely.
And whatever organizations like yours can do to help, I think it's super important to highlight that as well. So thanks for bringing that to our attention as well. Okay. Yeah.
What?
No,
you got lost?
No, I didn't get lost. I'm just like, we live in an area that feels pretty affluent, right? And so you sometimes forget that there are people that are struggling on the daily. It's not just about toys and bikes. It's really, like you said, they don't have a table to sit at to build that toy. They don't have food on their table. They don't have heat. They don't have clothes. So, it just kind of, just had a moment there. I was like, oh, what else can I do?
In fact, I mentioned cash. Some people think it's boring to give cash or give money. But where our focus has shifted in the last few years is we always had this big, huge, heavy box of food. It had a ham, a bunch of fruit, some cheese, and all that stuff was donated, which is awesome. It was really great. A little hard on the elves' backs because they had to carry the box in, but we've shifted that a little bit because, first of all, some people don't eat ham, for religious reasons or other, you never know. And so to bring a ham into a family that doesn't eat ham didn't make a lot of sense. Or maybe they have plenty of food, but what they really need is diapers, or what they really need is toilet paper, or, anything. And so we've shifted to gift cards. Well, we have to buy those gift cards. They don't get donated, whereas the food was getting donated. And, we don't give Legos to a 16-year-old who's in the house. We give them a gift card to Amazon or Fred Meyer or something like that. And so our cash layout is a little bit bigger, but the quality of service that we provide to the family, because they're getting a gift card that they can use to buy what they need, to us it's a much better option, because why bring them something that they don't need if what they really need are those basic items?
Yeah.
That
So
are
people
tough to
can
buy.
donate cash, but can they also donate gift cards? I mean, sometimes it's easy just to grab one of those when you're at the grocery store or you're at Target or wherever. They have plenty of them there.
Yes. The one caveat I'll mention, which I didn't know was something that you could do, but we do restrict our gift cards so that, like, things like alcohol or cigarettes, that sort of thing, can't be purchased, so that they can only be used for basic goods like food or, like I said, diapers, that household items.
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know you could do that either.
Exactly, yeah. So as long as they're tied to that, that's why we like to buy them, because our people go do that. But
Fair enough.
but yeah, if someone wants to donate a gift card, we would certainly wouldn't say no.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Okay, so let's kind of turn to the needs and the current needs. Now, you mentioned there that we helped out with a bike drive last year, which was our absolute honour. We thoroughly enjoyed it. The community came together for that, and we are working on another drive for this year. So if you're listening, you want to donate a bike, hit us up. We'll give you the
Yeah,
details.
bring
But
it.
so this year we're working towards hopefully donating 50 to the Forgotten Children's Fund. Can you share with us why something like a bike is such a meaningful gift for a child, and how your listeners, how our listeners can directly support this effort? I mean, we can talk about what we're doing, but kind of tell us why bikes are such. I know you talked about before how that's one of the items that doesn't get donated in the areas, the age groups that you like. So kind of tell us about that and why it's important, if you wouldn't mind.
It really is one of the highlights of Christmas Eve, because if you can visualize this, so Santa Claus is coming in with a big bag over his shoulder, and you got the elves coming in the house. Usually the way we do it on my team, because I'm one of the Santa Clauses too, is that's how it is Santa's walking in with a bag, and so we sit down and then shock on the face of Santa Claus and shock on the face of the elves, because here comes another elf kind of trailing behind everyone else, rolling a bike in, and you just watch the kid's face go, and they're so excited to get, because bikes are awesome, and I don't care how much society has changed, bikes will always be awesome. And to watch a bicycle roll into a house that otherwise couldn't afford one, and we always include a helmet, of course, but it's definitely a highlight. In fact, we try to delay it a little bit so that the bicycle doesn't take away from the other stuff that they're opening there on the sitting on the couch or whatever. It's a game changer for so many families, because first of all, a lot of kids can share the bicycle, but also it's one of those items that it's not a basic item, and it's not something that a lot of these families can reach, and so it's really cool to be able to provide that for them. And we do. Last year, with you guys' help, was the first year in like 5 years that we've had enough bicycles to fulfill every request that we got. Because basically, if a family requests one, we fulfill that request when we can.
That's
awesome.
fantastic.
We got 41, 42?
43.
43.
43. Yeah, our
nice.
goal was 25.
So
when
it's
we
not a
delivered
huge,
43.
not a huge stretch to get 50. Let's do
No,
it.
I know,
Let's
but
do it.
times are different. People have other
Yeah.
struggles here too. But I think the other thing I would add to that is the sense of freedom for kids when they have a bike, right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm sure the three of us sitting around this table, we all had bikes as kids, right?
Yeah.
And that would be our go-to. You jump on, you pedal away, and
Yeah.
you're in your own little world of freedom. So being able to deliver that for kids, I think, is absolutely fantastic. So before I ask my next question really is how, ways that the community can help support the effort this year, aside from bikes. But before I let you answer that, I'd like to make a plug for our drive, if that's okay. Because obviously we want to hit that 50 or more. So we've already got the drive going. We've already got bikes sitting in our office that people have donated, and we're spreading the word. So if you are listening and you want to donate a bike or money towards a bike, we will happily take that from you. We have a page set up on our website and our blogs, and our drive is called Tinsel and Tires. We've made it super easy. We've even picked out bikes, and you can just go to our Amazon wish list, pick one, and have it shipped to the office. So we've done all the hard work. All we need is you to say, yes, I'm going to do it. There's helmets, there's bikes. Those bikes are for children ages 6 to 12, then gender neutral, and we checked with the Forgotten Children Funds. They're ones that they're yay, okay, yep, all right. So so if you can't find the page, hit us up. You can call Troy on 206-504-3660.
Call, text.
Yeah, call or text, or tenthometeam.com. So that's one way you can help. Greg, tell us about other ways the community can help, whether it's bikes or something else.
Yeah, definitely bikes. I mean, I mentioned money, and that always helps, because every year, not just the basics of life go up, but the cost of gift wrap, Scotch tape, everything goes up, and those are the biggest items that we have to procure each year. We wrap over 20,000 toys, and so you can imagine how much gift wrap that is.
That's a lot of elbow grease too.
We have shoppers that go out year round, and anytime like Ben Franklin or Costco has gift wrap marked down, they just buy it, and they store it in their own garages, until we have a warehouse procured. So money definitely really helps, but also just if you just have time to volunteer, it's a life-changing experience to come down to the North Pole in December. You go to our website, sign up for a table, and you can come down by yourself, or you can come down with friends and family, or friends or family. And what happens is you get a sheet of paper that has the family on it, and it has the parents, the kids' names, their ages, what their interests are. And so you literally get to go around the warehouse and shop for them, although you're not buying anything. There's tables of toys, but you get to pick out what you're going to wrap for these families, and you write their name on it. And so it's a really personal experience. And to see, the simple things that these kids want. Sometimes they talk about they want a Ferrari or something like that, but yeah, who doesn't?
I want one too.
Well, where do you put your golf clubs is what I always say.
Yeah, there's that.
But the simple, and so you get to have this personal connection with this family because you know their names. And then every once in a while, if you're volunteering with us as an elf or as a Santa Claus even, every once in a while you'll come across a family that you wrapped, and you get to deliver to that family and actually see, finalize the connection that you made by wrapping their toys for them. So volunteering is definitely something we always need. The North Pole has become a very popular place, and so we do ask that you go to our website and sign up for a table so that we don't end up with 1,000 people in a day. But I always say, if tables aren't available, just come down and we'll find something for you to do, because there's lots of stuff to do. We do still do a small food box, and so we put those together. We get lots of fruit donated to us still, and so we put that together. Sometimes just general cleaning up around the North Pole. There's always something to do down there, and so volunteering is a big, big deal. The website's ForgottenChildren'sFund.org, and then usually around October 1st is when the calendar posts, so you can sign up to come down and volunteer.
Perfect. I did check it out the other day actually to see if
Yeah.
it was up there yet. But and like we mentioned earlier, we had an opportunity to go down there when we dropped off the bikes, because we didn't know what to expect when we walked in. What a production! I mean, we had the Les Schwab tire guys there building bikes. You even had one of them.
I'm glad they were there.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank goodness they were there that day.
Do you want to tell us why you were glad they were there, Troy?
Well, driving into the warehouse, the door had a little bit of a low clearance. The truck made it through just fine, but after we unloaded the bikes, it couldn't fit back out.
We have video footage of this
We do.
too.
So all the Les Schwab guys piled in the back of the truck, and we backed out successfully.
Yes, had to weigh the truck down to get it back out. That was interesting for sure. But yeah, so all of those guys are there. They're building the bikes. I remember, talking to a guy there, another Les Schwab guy, and he was wrapping presents. There was tons of people there picking the gifts, like you said. So, just what a wonderful experience for us to be able to go down and see that.
For sure.
So
I had no idea. I was like, okay, yeah, we're...
yeah.
Can I shout them out real quick?
Yeah.
Because we started, we were beneficiaries of Les Schwab's toy drive starting about 7 or 8 years ago, and that was a total game changer for us. And it really is what helped us to start the aftercare program, because they were donating so many toys to our cause that it freed up funds to be able to do other things for these families. But it's not just the toys that they donate to us, which is a huge production, because they come down in their blue and white trucks and they're all in uniform, and it's a big day when Les Schwab donates their stuff, and it's usually kind of mid-December. But they do come down. They don't just drop stuff off. They have a day where they come down and wrap. They have a day where they
bikes together. There's like 50 of them.
They're amazing. So I don't know what they talk about in their meetings, but I'm sold. Their customer service level and their give back to the community has just been incredible, and so became a big fan of Les Schwab a few years ago because of that, and so thank you to them.
No, they were awesome. There was so many of them there putting bikes together and doing whatever and helping us out with the truck. So I was going to ask you about the behind the scenes, but you've kind of covered that really with what's happening there. You call it the Santa's Workshop, which it really is. I mean, the day we went down, people weren't dressed as elves. I'm sure that's just the day you deliver.
Right.
But there was definitely this feel of camaraderie, and people were just in the moment really enjoying being able to help out in ways, whether it was wrapping or prepping. I was going to ask you to kind of talk us through what happens to the run up, to delivering the magic of the holidays for those families in need, but I think you've kind of covered that. What I would ask then is, what's one of the behind the scene moments that most people would be surprised to learn about?
Behind the scenes moment, like at the North Pole or just in general?
You pick.
Well, I will say the North Pole gets stressful for the people that are running it. We have a few people down there that are there almost every day. Debbie Acton runs the North Pole for us. She's retired, but she's got a lot going on in her life, just like we all do. And she literally shuts her life down starting in about mid-November, and then runs the North Pole starting on about November 25th-ish through the day after Christmas. And she's there every single day, even Monday and Friday when the North Pole is technically closed. She's almost always there.
Wow.
if you ever volunteer, dress warmly. Debbie has bought one of those heated vests because one thing about a donated warehouse, they don't turn the heat on. So it does get cold. But so the work that she does is amazing. We have a gal named Brandy Teresi who runs, she handles all the logistics. So we get trucks donated to us. 10 Home Team truck was part of that last year.
Is that the skipper?
The skipper, yeah. She's a ship's captain, so she brings boats up and down the West Coast. She's a licensed captain. But so she is always in the North Pole driving a forklift almost every single day. She also runs the auction that I mentioned earlier. And it gets really stressful because, again, I guess I haven't mentioned this yet. We're an entirely volunteer organization, and so it's hard to get mad at a volunteer if they're not doing something the way you want them to.
It's like herding cats, volunteers.
100%. So they call me the president, but I'm like, really, I'm the chief cat herder. I occasionally sign a document here and there, but so behind the scenes, it's really incredible how much work these people put in. Kurt Camp is another one. He works 12-hour shifts at the Overlake Hospital emergency room. But when he's not at the emergency room, he's at the North Pole just working his butt off. And I don't know where he gets the energy, but he does every single little thing that needs to get done. And, occasionally my job kind of becomes, hey, just remember, we're doing this for the kids. Like this is supposed to be fun, because it does get stressful. But so when we have volunteers that come down and are really plugged in and they're spreading Christmas cheer, it makes it a lot easier because, smiles are contagious. And it's what I love most about Christmas is just, it's supposed to be such a happy time. And the fact that we're able to do this for families that otherwise wouldn't be able to do it for themselves, it brings joy to my heart. It brings joy to my family's heart. And I know that we're doing a good thing for the community.
Yeah. For sure.
No doubt.
So have there been any new partnerships with local businesses, schools, or community groups that have made a big difference this year?
Yeah, I guess I kind of buried the lead with the Mac Elementary thing because that was the one that was really special to me. But yeah, I mean, we're always developing new partnerships. The 101 Club at Washington Athletic Club, they've been a long-time sponsor, but what's been cool is, so they do a luncheon every year, a big fundraiser luncheon in December. It's their monthly meeting, but it turns into a fundraiser for us. But what happens is a lot of the people that are members of the 101 Club own businesses or participate, deeply in the community. And so there are individuals within the 101 Club that want to get more involved, whether, they have young kids or, kids in school, or they want to do something with their company where they come down and their Christmas party is to come down to the North Pole and wrap. We've had people donate us storage space, so hopefully, hopefully we'll have space there.
Some more bikes.
Yeah. The Metropolitan Grill, the company that owns the Metropolitan Grill, it's called
catered
E3. Yeah, so they cater a full Christmas dinner for Santa and elves on Christmas Eve, and we'll talk more about it in a second. But they've expanded into the summertime stuff that we do, and so. It's funny, as people get to know us better and we reach out to them and ask for things, it's like nobody says no. Yeah. And they just want to be there to help. And so big shout out to 101 Club and all that they're doing for us. The other one that's the relationship changed a little bit is when I first started being an elf, Santa and the elves were driven around in minivans. And it got really uncomfortable because if you've ever worn a Santa suit, they get really hot. And so it's very uncomfortable, especially if it was raining on Christmas Eve, which it often is. Years ago, Microsoft started donating their express vans that they use on campus to shuttle the employees around. They're kind of like airporter vans. And so that's been amazing because now we have space and lots of room for stuff and for people. But they changed vendors this year. And so we were super worried that we were going back to minivans.
Oh, no.
But we met with the new company and we told them our story and the relationship that we've had with Microsoft, and they're all in. And so thank goodness we saved the airporter vans because it makes it a lot more enjoyable of a day. And
I should imagine anybody listening to this is that you're not, I'm going to say not actively looking, but if people want to set things up for you, you are open to kind of discussions on that, whether it's companies like ours that want to do a bike drive or if they want to do a toy drive. you want as many people helping to support this so you can, help more families.
100%, and they don't even need to have a podcast or wine. I'll take you out to lunch and talk to you about it. But
Yeah.
or breakfast, whatever. But yeah, we're always looking for new partnerships because everything goes in cycles. And
Absolutely.
Usually, when people get involved with our organization, they don't stop, which
Yeah.
is awesome, and it's a
Yeah.
testament to the feeling that you get in serving the community. But yeah, anytime if someone has something they can do to help, we're open
Even
arms.
if it's a fledgling idea of something, contact you guys and then you can flesh it out and see how it's going to be most helpful to you, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Perfect.
So, I don't know, people like stories. Is there, without naming any names, is there any recent stories or moments that have really stuck with you, a child's reaction, family gratitude, just a good reminder of why the work is being done?
Yeah, I love this question. So, it's each Santa gets 8 or 10 families that he delivers to, and so really there's 8 or 10 stories every year. But there are some that stick out.
Yeah.
And it's a tough question because getting the story out sometimes can be difficult. But I'll do my best. I remember there was a family that in the house was mom and 9 children. Only one spoke any English, and he was 10. Even though he was the middle child, they were from Ukraine. Even though it was Christmas Eve, Dad's a mechanic, and he was out at work. And you could kind of tell the dad was a mechanic because there was a bunch of cars on blocks out in the driveway, and so I was like, he's taking his work home with him, but good for him. And so I was Santa Claus, and I had my team of elves, which my team's my favorite because it's all family, wife, uncles, aunts, son, cousins,
cool.
and stuff. It's really cool. But there was definitely, it was challenging because I was trying to talk to each one of the kids, and here's this 10-year-old
Trying to
interpreting. No, he was interpreting. And I was like 10 years old, and he's fully bilingual, and he's having a conversation with Santa Claus when in reality he should be super excited on his own that Santa Claus is in his house, but he held it together, and he was communicating for the rest of his family, including his mom, who didn't speak a word of English. Well, at the end, after we ended up spending, I think, 45 minutes there, which is longer than normal. We were sitting in the family room, and as we got up to leave, and I said my goodbyes to each kid, and the 10-year-old again was interpreting every single goodbye, and the kids, his siblings' response. Mom just came over. Of course, she couldn't say anything because she only speaks Ukrainian, but she just came up and gave me a huge hug. And she did say thank you because she knew how to say thank you. And it was just so incredible. And I wanted to come back and meet the dad because what an incredible job that mom and dad are doing, in a challenging situation. And, him working on Christmas Eve. And it was just really, really meaningful. The other one that I'll say, because you kind of touched on it a little bit, is 2 years ago, my route that I get is usually down close to the North Pole, but for whatever reason, this one year I was in Issaquah. And I'm looking at the list like, Issaquah?
I know. Doesn't seem right, does it?
Right.
Who needs help in Issaquah? But I'll be darned if we weren't driving around Issaquah and you'd pull up to this decent looking home or decent looking condominium, but as soon as you walked in, it was immediate that there's some need here. And there was one particular family, it was a mom and daughter. They had a bed out in the living room right as you entered the home. Well, when they saw us walking up with Santa and elves decked out in elf gear, the family next door came out and said, "What's going on over there?" Because they were in a similar position of need. And one thing that we do that's really cool that I hope we do forever is we always have an extra bag of toys in case we run into one of these families or you're in an apartment complex and there's kids all around. And we were able to just button hook into that house as soon as we left this house and go deliver them a Christmas too, even though they weren't on our list. And it really opened my eyes to, there's need all over the place. And it doesn't matter if you're in Woodinville, Redmond, Issaquah, Bellevue, certainly Auburn, Kent, those areas. But there's people struggling all over the place. And we try to help the working families that aren't being helped by other charities. But it's just incredible. Some families are just down on their luck for that year or maybe a couple of years. Maybe it's, a health issue or something going on where they just can't make ends meet. And that's where we want to come in and help.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. I had a side question when you were talking there, because I don't think we covered this. I'm not sure if we covered it last time, but how do people get on that list? Do they have to apply to be on the list, or are you made aware of them and you put them on the list?
It's the only job in our organization that I don't think I can do. We have a team of screeners. So families can go to our website and apply for help. A lot of times they get referred for help, whether it's a school counselor, sometimes a parole officer, another family that just knows about our organization. So they apply for help, and then we have a team of screeners that they do call, and they'll have a conversation or two with the family to verify that the need is real. Some of the letters that we get are so difficult to read, and that's where I'm like, let me be the the front man, and you guys keep, because they're tough. Yeah. They're really tough, and I think we're up to 12 screeners. Bella Chafee is a gal in the community that she runs that team, and she's amazing. You don't even have to talk to her all the time. She buckles down and does what needs to get done, and she has this great team of people that read through those letters and make the phone calls, and but so we do screen to make sure that the need is real, and but they're tough to read, but that's how we find those families.
Okay. I don't envy you that job at all.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can't really talk about the Forgotten Children's Fund without mentioning the Embassy Ranch over on Whidbey Island. I don't know if we talked about this last time, maybe just in passing, but this is such a unique and special part of the organisation that probably most people don't know about. So I'm going to let you share the history of the ranch and how it's grown into a refuge for children and families, and what kind of experiences the kids have there, and how this, that space that you have ties into the mission of creating hope and joy.
The ranch has been around for a long time. It's 55 acres in Freeland on South Whidbey, so it's about 15 minutes from the Clinton Ferry Dock. It really became a big part of our program in 2001. Forgotten Children's Fund technically took ownership of it, and it's a magical place. So we have a big activity. We call it the Pavilion now. We named it after Donnie, so the Don Rawl Pavilion. And that's where we serve meals and stuff. We have a make-believe cowboy town that's got a jail, a post office, a hotel, a mercantile, a train station, and a barber shop that kids can play in. We've got a whole dress-up area, so we've got all these donated items. You can dress up as a Navy pilot. You can dress up as a cowboy, a cowgirl, just about anything. And we've got a few other outbuildings, like we're actually building a brand new church next week. We have a Revolutionary War style like log cabin pole building that's a lookout tower. We have an indoor riding arena, and now we also have an outdoor riding arena. And we have, at any time, we have anywhere from 12 to 25 horses on property. And so what we do is we bring up any group that wants to come. Well, just about any group that wants to come. A lot of them are, like Seattle Children's has, they bring oncology patients. There's a burn victim unit that comes up. We have Down syndrome groups that come up. We just had a group of 80 Down syndrome kids 2 Saturdays ago. There's an autistic group that comes up. YMCA. Anyone who wants to come, there's no charge to the group. We serve them lunch, but most importantly, they get to spend anywhere from 2 to 4 hours on the ranch, kind of having the run of the place, and just being able to forget about anything else that's going on in their lives. And we have an incredible whole other group of volunteers up there that run that place. And what's cool is they're all there for the programs, or as many that can make it are there for the programs, because we safety first. We have someone on the lead rope of the horse, and then people on either side of the horse to make sure the kids are safe. And then obviously serving the meals, cleaning up, and all that stuff. But it is an operating horse ranch, and so that runs year round. So while the programs are only during the summer, we got to keep that place rolling year round. There's lots of lawn mowing. There's, horses eat twice a day, so people have to be there to feed them. People
muck
have to, muck them out. And the vet comes once a month. Someone's got to be there for the vet. The farrier, it's an operating horse ranch. If I had a nickel for every time a pipe burst up there, in fact, there's one burst right now, which is, I'm going there later, part of the reason. But it's an incredible, incredible place. It's got a peekaboo view of the water, but it's just a
Wow.
beautiful, and kind of like the Christmas program, I think the beneficiaries of the program get a lot out of it, but also the people that volunteer there get so much out of it. You know, it's a pillar of the community now, the Embassy Ranch, because people come from all over the island to come and help. And it's expensive to have horses, and so for people to be able to
Yeah.
be around horses and serve the community at the same time, it's a really, really magical place.
So how can people get involved?
Yeah, same thing. There's a link to Embassy Ranch on the ForgottenChildren'sFund.org website, and we're always looking for volunteers up there because it's a much smaller community. And like I said, there's a ton of maintenance to be done up there.
Who runs the ranch?
So Dale Kerslake, she was the first female aboard a Navy ship and ultimately got elevated to commander.
Wow.
So just how you'd think she'd be. The story is that she's made men cry. As
I
I'm
like
sure.
the sound of her.
Yeah, I've gotten close a couple of times. But when she's around kids, there's this big shift because she's amazing running our programs, and so she schedules all the groups. She's the one that kind of, not to use a ranch term, but rustles or wrangles all the volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Like she runs all that stuff. So she runs the ranch. The Forgotten Children's Fund owns it, and so there's a big tie-in there. But as far as the day-to-day operation, she's the chief up there, and then we've got some other core people up there too that we couldn't run it without them. Tonight is actually, there's a kind of a thank you dinner. It's sort of the end of the season, although we do still have a few more programs, but there's a potluck dinner on the island at the ranch as a thank you to the volunteers.
Is Kim still there?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
Yeah, still
Yeah.
rolling, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So check out the website if you want to volunteer. Get in touch with them and see how you can help out.
Or if you have a group that wants to come up and use the ranch, we're always open to that too. So I think we had 23 programs this year. And obviously we got to space them out a little bit because there's a finite number of people up there doing the programs, but we always have people that are willing to help. So
That's awesome.
if you have a group that wants to come up, we have new groups every year.
Who knew?
Yeah. Well, and so I think it was 3 years ago, we built an outdoor riding arena. It's 100 feet by 200 feet. It's huge.
Okay.
And that's usable. So if people want to come up and, there's some documents you got to fill out as far as waivers and stuff, but you can come up and use that
Oh,
riding
that's
arena.
nice.
Yeah, and
Fantastic.
one more shout out, Michael Subaru. They provide us funding for capital projects every year, and so it was with their funding we were able to build that riding arena. Because you'd think you just scrape a bunch of dirt around, but there's way more involved.
Yep.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful facility that's it gets used a lot, but it's probably still underutilized. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You guys are amazing.
You are
Okay,
amazing.
yeah.
So as you think about, the next few years, where do you see Forgotten Children's Fund going? Are there ways to expand or reach or?
I hope so. I mentioned Tacoma earlier.
Yeah, okay.
I'm always open to serving new communities as long as it doesn't sacrifice the level of service that we're giving currently, which I think we can do that
Makes sense.
because so many people want to be involved. So we're always willing to expand into new communities. We didn't used to serve Bellingham, for example. It was when we had the OSO, the big slide
The
up there
mudslide,
a
yeah.
few years ago, Nooksack Valley. That's when we started working up there. They approached us asking for help. And so we're always willing to expand into new communities as long as we're not sacrificing what we're currently doing. But we've been talking a lot about expanding the utilization of the ranch because right now it's a horse ranch. I have little children, and so we go to places that have goats and pigs and all that sort of stuff. And wouldn't it be cool if we could do that at MRC too? And maybe bring in more of the community, maybe a vegetable garden or something like that people can come up and maybe they don't have room on their own property, but they could use
Like a
ours.
community garden?
Community garden, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's talk of that, and but yeah, if we kept doing exactly what we're doing from here on out, no problem, because I think we're doing good work, and like I said, the volunteers get almost as much out of it as the people who are benefiting from it.
Oh, it was life-changing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, expand on that. Like, what was your favorite part, do you think?
Well, just my head kind of blew up when we first drove into the warehouse. It's like, oh my gosh, this is a huge operation.
Yeah.
And then actually doing the deliveries, I drove my truck around with all the stuff in the back.
Dressed as an elf.
Dressed as an elf.
So was his wife.
Pictures.
So it's not really an outer body experience, but you could be just maybe a little bit different personality and be able to be more whimsical and playful with the people that you were interacting with, and to just see them light up, and tears came to their eyes, and it was like, and you just you kind of see how they live, and you go, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own walk through life, and there's different levels of being fortunate and that sort of thing. But as long as people know that there are people that care, I know you guys do a ton of stuff for the community. I know Woodinville Chamber of Commerce does a ton of stuff for the community, and I would just say my message to everyone out there, even if it's not with Forgotten Children's Fund, is keep it up. And the way you guys just greeted us with open arms and just dove right in as an elf. Maybe you just wanted to dress up like.
No, but I mean, you said how people get involved, and sometimes there's an ebb and flow to that. But I just can't imagine not being involved.
Yeah.
In an ongoing way.
Yeah. Quick funny story, and she'll kill me for saying this maybe, but my wife asked me, because it gets stressful, with the ranch and the Christmas time, and we have little kids, and I have a day job. She has a day job. And it's a lot, but so she asked me, how much longer are you going to do this? And I was like, I think forever, until I can't, because, I started, my dad was Santa Claus, and so I was one of his elves. And so it just became like that's what we do on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it can get stressful, but the crescendo is Christmas Eve. And so being able to see those families, it just makes it all worth it. And I can't imagine doing anything else on Christmas Eve now. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you got to get a taste.
It's not really Christmas Eve; it's during the day.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you're home by 5 o'clock, or maybe even earlier. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were kind of glowing after you did it. You were super excited. Like that was so. I mean, and I don't want to kind of downplay it that it's this fun event, but you were. It was like it just brought you so much joy from delivering the gifts, and it was your first time doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, Christmas should be a joyful event. Mm-hmm. It's a good reason to celebrate, for sure. And, that was definitely a win for me, seeing the family's lives change.
Yeah.
So we're going to see new green tights again this year.
Yeah.
I think I still have the outfit. Yeah, I was like,
you better.
Buddy the elf.
I didn't wear a wig, though. I maybe step up my game and put on a curly wig this year.
Cover up the silver? Come on. What are you talking about?
I'll take photos.
Just start growing it out right now.
They'll be on social media for sure. All right. So, I mean, you've hit on it a few times, but for listeners who are inspired by this conversation today, what's the single most helpful thing they can do, whether it's donating, volunteering, or spreading the word to make sure the Forgotten Children's Fund keeps creating joy?
It's a good question. It's a tough question. There is no one single thing. Whatever someone's comfortable with. Yeah. If they can donate money, awesome. If they can donate a bike or 5 bikes, do a mini bike drive, awesome. If there's a small business out there that wants to do something similar to what you guys are doing, awesome. If all they can do is just bring themselves down to the North Pole and help wrap a few gifts, awesome. Sweep the floor, awesome. Load trucks on Christmas Eve morning. Anything that you can give we super duper appreciate it, and we'll never say no thank you. If you have an extra roll of gift wrap that you didn't use, we've had people do that, just come down and deliver a few rolls of gift wrap. Mm-hmm. Everything helps. Like I said, we don't, Les Schwab, we're a big part of their toy drive. Microsoft donates vans and stuff, but like I said, we don't have any big corporate sponsors who say, here's
hundreds of thousands
of dollars, will you please become the such and such company, Forgotten Children's Fund? We don't have that. We're 100% grassroots. We're 100% volunteer. One thing that's a big feather in our cap is 92 cents out of every dollar gets put right back into families.
Yeah, that's great.
Our administrative costs are almost nil, and that, like I said, that's scotch tape and gift wrap and ribbon, really. Fuel for vehicles.
Yeah.
Because if someone donates us a truck, we fill the tank, that kind of stuff. But we don't have a lot of big costs. Everything else gets donated. So I mentioned Metropolitan Grill. they got involved with we do a fundraiser cowboy ride every year at the Embarcy Ranch too, and they donated food for that even.
Wow.
So they're an incredible company. E3 is the name of the company, but every little thing helps, to answer your question. And so whatever people are comfortable with, we'll take.
Nothing's too small.
Nothing's too small.
That's awesome.
We to give my daughter a little shout out. She's in the office behind us right now, but that's what she did for her birthday this year. She asked for no gifts. People still brought gifts because she's only 8, but she asked for donations for Gun Children's Fund.
I love that.
Oh my God.
Got $100. I was like, what a special $100 we just got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I love the
every little bit
grassroots aspect of it, and it's it just speaks to the impact.
helps. Yeah. And you know, to be able to help a family, you know, $50 goes a long ways when you're talking about toys for a kid.
Yeah.
That could be everything for 2 kids.
Yeah.
So, or you know, we give jackets and blankets too. $50 at Costco. That's, you know, five jackets, 6 jackets maybe. So every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I think we're rounding the show up.
I know, we could talk for
I know.
hours, but you're talking about every year. That's just, you know, what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a great organization. Thanks, Greg, for all you do.
Well, before I stop talking, I really want to thank you guys one more time, because what you did for us last year and what you're doing for us this year is really, really amazing, and it's a testament to your company and your character as individuals. And so I know it takes time out of your day, it takes space out of your office, and so thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anytime.
Yeah.
It's our pleasure, actually. When we talked about
It's
it,
fun.
can we do it again? He's like,
Yeah.
of course we can do it again. So, yeah.
It was fun to see the community step up. I mean, it wasn't all us. We stored the bikes. You know, we donated a few ourselves, but really the community that rallied around us brought the bikes to Chamber of Commerce,
Yep.
businesses in our community,
Yeah.
individuals in our community. So, yeah.
A lot of big hearts out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
All right. Well, we always like to round the show out with our hidden gems. So you're a Woodinville resident here, and so we'd just like to highlight maybe something that you enjoy that someone else might not know about.
Ooh.
Hidden gem.
Everyone knows about Costco. It's not a hidden gem. Woodinville is my favorite Costco.
You know, the tax rate is lower in Woodinville than it is in Linwood.
It is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like 7.7 here, and it's 10 point something in Linwood.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And no offense against Redmond, but if you live
Yeah.
halfway in between, Woodinville's better tax rate than Redmond.
Yeah,
so
yeah, for sure.
there's a difference between Redmond Costco and Woodinville Costco.
Shop, yeah. Shop local in Woodinville.
But it's so when I grew up, kind of Totem Lake area, and so Woodinville was kind of the closest city because we were enough removed from Kirkland, and you know, Woodinville has gotten a lot bigger, and there's been a lot of changes. You know, we're all going to miss Molebacks and that kind of stuff, but McClendon's Hardware, like
Yeah.
if you really need something and you're not really sure how to fix stuff, McClendon's Hardware is the one that has people that actually know, you know, and there are people within Home Depot and Lowe's and that kind of stuff, but if you really need some advice, McClendon's Hardware is such a great place to go, and I like to do things myself, and so going into McClendon's and asking for advice,
Yeah.
I'll give them a shout out. We are involved in the Woodinville Little League, so Ballard Pizza right there that overlooks
yeah.
that's a good spot that we like to go, and it's actually where we've gone after. So I'm the Santa Claus for the Woodinville tree lighting.
Yeah.
So every year my family comes down and our friends come down and get pictures with Santa. And then we go somewhere afterwards for dinner. We either go to Cut Shop, which is awesome, or we go to Ballard Pizza,
Nice.
which is equally awesome.
Yeah.
There's some great spots there for sure.
There is.
Ones
Yes.
that we've all used, so yeah.
Yeah.
If only we had more wineries. I don't feel like
I know, we just don't have enough, do we? I mean, what are we at, 140 or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
FSD Winery, that's one of my favorites. I'll
Yeah.
give them
Yeah,
a
we're doing a networking night there soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right, there's so many great places, but I think that I would say the biggest hidden gem is maybe the Forgotten Children's Fund.
Yeah.
So,
I'll give one more hidden gem, because
Okay.
I happen to know someone who's running for city council this year.
Oh.
This guy's a hidden gem. And so I try not to get too deep into politics yet, but I've
We
never
didn't
met
make it
anyone
past
that
the
cares.
primary, but we tried.
Well, I don't know anyone that cares more about the community than you do. So,
So I think what you're saying is you are just a hidden gem. No
Hidden
matter
gem.
what you're doing, you are there for the community, and everything you do is about community,
Yeah.
including this podcast. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And you're here for Forgotten Children's Fund too. So we very much appreciate it.
All right. So now that Troy is red in the cheeks because he's blushing.
It might be the red wine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're
He poured
gonna-
himself a second.
we're
I
gonna
did, yeah, I did. You want some more?
While they talk about red wine, I'm going to put us into a really quick break, and when we come back, we are going to dive into our real estate roundup. It's a quickie this week, but important, so stay tuned. We will be right back. Welcome back to TLC, 10 Life Community Podcast. Oh, I can't talk this afternoon.
You've had too much wine, I think.
I've had 3 sips
Three
of
sips.
wine.
I was going to say, her cup's still full.
When you told me what the alcohol volume was, I stopped drinking. I still have a full afternoon of work to do. So
It's 85% water.
That's true.
okay.
We're hydrating.
It's
basically Gatorade.
Yeah, it's Gatorade at this point. It's grape juice. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Anyway, we had a fascinating conversation as always with Greg from the Forgotten Children's Fund. We will give you the details of where you can get more information at the end of the show. But first of all, it's real estate roundup time with Troy.
Yes.
So, for the last few years, we've talked about low inventory, but nationally, there is a 60% more homes available for sale than there were this time last year. Now, I'm talking nationally because if we talked about before, there's these microcosms of Woodinville's going to be different from Redmond and the rest of the world.
We've seen
the
it too.
country.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we are definitely 60% up in certain areas, and
Okay.
some are a little more actually.
Okay. But what does that mean for you as a buyer?
Well, that's good news for a buyer. And as we're going into winter too, it's a great time to buy a house is in the winter season because people have to sell their house during that time. So they're just more available for negotiations. So, some good things is you don't have to feel as rushed. You can, sleep on it, as they say. If the house comes up and fits your criteria, you might have some opportunity to just take some time to think about it and not feel rushed into a situation.
I get that. I mean,
Yeah. There's still houses. I'll just listen to your agent because they know the best. There's still houses that sell within days or hours.
Yep.
So there is still that, but there's more competition now. So there's more inventory, meaning the shelves are stocked more. So you have a little bit more choices to make, and there's going to be fewer bidding wars, and it's a better chance for you to negotiate price. Other terms, people talk about interest rates being high right now. The last few deals we've done, we've been able to get some closing cost credit to be able to buy the long-term interest rate down, so that saves you money over the long term. Whereas, if you negotiated, $20,000 off the price, it would have, $20,000 worth of benefit. But if you negotiate $20,000 in closing costs, that's substantially could reduce your long-term costs in interest rate. So we're just seeing more signs of a balanced market. I did my first balanced market CMA in probably 6 years in Kirkland. So this is the 98033 zip code. There's a lot of inventory down there in that area, and so I was surprised to see that. So
it sounds like buyers are getting a little bit of their power back.
yes, I was going to say that. So, and not every house is priced right. So, sometimes houses are strategically priced low, so you're going to get some competition. So, it's a case-by-case basis, and there is really micro markets. Seattle's has a lot more inventory than, say, Bellevue. So,
Okay.
and then certain price points, too. People are, there's still cash buyers out there that aren't affected by interest rates, but there's certain price points that just are not moving as fast as others.
Okay.
So,
All good information. Definitely seeing a shift in the market.
Yeah.
So, back to
And-
things that are more normalized.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's still a great time to sell and transition. We haven't seen price dips, so sellers are still getting top dollar for their houses.
That's good news.
You're still building equity by buying a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's great. All right. Well, thank you very much for that. I said it was quick this week, so because we wanted to spend more time.
Always spend time on the important stuff.
Exactly. Well, the housing market is important, but today it's all about the joy of giving back. So, all right, if somebody wants to have a conversation with you, Troy, about the housing market as it is now, with the the rise in inventory, or just kind of where they sit within the market, how do they get hold of you?
Yeah, we're happy to do a no obligation consultation. I call it equity analysis. Come in, take a look at the house, let you know what improvements might be necessary to sell or be a good investment, return on investment. So 10hometeam.com, 206-504-3660, call or text.
Perfect. And then if there are renovations that need doing, we've got our concierge programs that kind of line up with that, which were in the adverts in this show. So fantastic. All right, Greg, back to you. How can people find out more information about the Forgotten Children's Fund, the ranch, get involved? Give us your social media handles if you have them, your website, and any phone numbers that are relevant.
Yeah, ForgottenChildren'sFund.org is the website, ForgottenChildren'sFund.org. There is a link to Embarcy Ranch on there. And like I said earlier, there's the calendar posts around October 1st, and the tables do go pretty fast, so if you're interested in bringing some people down to wrap, which I highly encourage, make sure you get on there quickly. My cell phone number, if you want to have a conversation, is 206-999-4011. And yes, I know it sounds fake, but it's not. It's a real number.
999.
999. Just the one they gave me. You're welcome to call me or text me anytime, and we can set up a meeting or even just a phone appointment to talk about what you've got going on.
Cool.
And,
You're very gracious. Thanks for coming on the show.
No, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for letting us help out as well.
Of course.
It actually is a big joy for us to do this, so thank you.
Yeah, no, anytime someone says, can we give you guys 50 bikes? I'm not letting you help out. It's absolutely, 50 bikes is great. So thank you guys, and thank you to the community that helps with this bike drive.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks very much again. We will be back next time. If you enjoyed the show, remember to like and subscribe, or
On YouTube, Ding the Dinger.
all right. Until next time, people, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for listening.